JBN, we keep you informed. Woman charged for illegal possession of firearm and wounding. The police have charged 27-year-old Vivian Martin of Oakland Apartment Complex, Kingston 8, with wounding with intent and illegal possession of a firearm after she allegedly shot her spouse. According to the police, on March 4, Martin and her spouse were at home when the two had a dispute. Martin reportedly used a licensed Zig Sawyer 9mm pistol to shoot her spouse in the leg. Her court date is being finalized. Two high-powered weapons seized in Augustown. Two high-powered weapons were seized in Augustown, St. Andrew on Monday, following an alleged confrontation between gunmen and the police. Members of the St. Andrew Central Operational Support Unit were in Augustown when they were reportedly fired on by a group of men. The fire was returned when the shooting subsided. An M16 and a shotgun were found. No one was arrested. Uotan resident slain in Clarendon. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF, said its detectives in Clarendon are appealing for residents of Henry's Lane in Maypen to tell law enforcers what they know about the murder of a man in the community on Friday, March 13. The deceased is 37-year-old Kirk Douglas from Main Street in Uotan, St. Catherine. According to investigators, they were called to Henry's Lane in Maypen about 11:30 p.m. by residents who reported hearing gunshots. There they found Douglas lying on the roadway with several gunshot wounds. He was assisted to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Persons with pertinent information should contact the Maypen Police at 876-832-2077, Crime Stop at 311, or the nearest police station. 87-year-old man found dead in water tank. The St. Anne Police are now probing the circumstances surrounding the death of a senior citizen who was found dead in a water tank at his home in Bamboo, St. Anne yesterday. Dead is 87-year-old Richard King of Lumsden District, Bamboo, St. Anne. According to the police, about 1:45 p.m., passers-by stumbled upon the body and alerted them. Upon their arrival, King's body was seen afloat in the water. It was fished from the water, the scene processed, and the body removed to the morgue for post-mortem. Olympic Gardens residents cower in fear after triple murder. A section of Olympic Gardens was transformed into a virtual ghost town on Monday, just over 24 hours after 33 McKinley Crescent was rocked by a triple murder. Fearful residents said they were staying off the streets. A bare innocent man dead Sunday. A shop them go, all of them who get shot there one place, and the car drive up. Man with M16 come out and another with a handgun and just start fire, a community member said. An eyewitness who was still visibly shaken recounted the terror of the mass shooting. "Me familiar with all of them who died. I mean, know none of them has no gunslinger," the witness said. "Me hear they shot them and duck. Them just come to shoot anybody." The deceased men have been since identified as Krishmar Haidal, 31 of 50 Simmons Park, 32-year-old Machado Niney Smith of 110 Bay Farm Road, and David Archer, 36 of Igla of 20 Simmons Avenue. Police reports are that about 9:05 a.m. the men were shot and killed by unknown assailants while standing at a shop in the community. A fourth person was also shot and injured but remained in hospital up to yesterday. There was another killing in the area last week, but it is unclear if the shootings are connected. Not even the cars parked on the road were spared on Sunday morning, as at least 2 motor vehicles were riddled with bullets. The police have reportedly increased patrols in the wake of the triple killing. Attempts to speak with the head of the St. Andrew South Police Division, Superintendent Wayne Cameron, were unsuccessful, as calls to his cell phone went to voicemail. The triple killing in St. Andrew South was a snapshot of the wave of deadly violence that swept 4 parishes on Sunday, with a total of 8 persons, including a child, being murdered and several others injured. The murders, which happened between 9:05 a.m. and 5:14 p.m., occurred across St. Andrew, St. James, Westmoreland, and Kingston. 306 murders were committed in Jamaica as at March 21, a 2.3% increase over last year. There were 299 murders for the corresponding period in 2019. St. Andrew South, 35, Clarendon, 31, St. Andrew North, 28, St. Catherine South, 28, and St. Andrew Central, 24, round out the top 5 murderous police divisions this year. everybody afraid. Residents of tight-knit Burton Town in remote Rosal, on the steep slopes below Malvern in the Santa Cruz Mountains, freely confess they are afraid. Everybody cowed and afraid, said one female resident, as she and others declined to be identified or to have their pictures taken. As she put it, in all her 50-odd years, she have never heard of anything in her community as terrifying as occurred on the night of Monday, March 16, when her nephew, 35-year-old farmer Dervin Powell, was shot dead, and two other people, including a woman, shot and injured. The injured woman is out of hospital with a wound to her foot. The injured man was in hospital up to the weekend, nursing bullet wounds across his face and to his hand. In one of several yards nestled close together and approached from the road by a narrow, winding and stony trail, the woman's young male relative, whom we'll call John, told the horrible story in low, matter-of-fact tones. He pointed to a tree around which a small group of relatives and friends had sat and stood, drinking rum and listening to music. Suddenly, he said they realized two gunmen were among them. He remembers the exact time, 1 minute past 9 at night. One gunman ordered him to go face down on the ground. John hit the ground so hard, he badly scraped his left knee on the broken concrete. The gunman stood over him with the weapon pointed at his head. On the ground, John said he heard Powell, who was leaning against the tree, say, "Officer, after me no do nothing, after I am a wrong door." Those words were the last from Powell, for according to John, the gunman hovering over him immediately lifted his weapon and shot Powell, who fell forward on his face, dead. The killer then resumed his previous posture, pointing the gun at John's head. By then, the injured man, now in hospital, had been shot by the second gunman and was running. Amazingly for locals, the injured man was chased by the second gunman in the dark through a rough, tortuous trail and into a nearby hill. Locals say the injured man fell into a hole and stayed there, and was aware of the second gunman coming on top of the hole, but not seeing his intended victim, the would-be killer eventually turned back. John told how the injured woman, on hearing the gunshots and uproar, cracked open the door of the nearby house and was promptly shot in the foot by the killer hovering over him. The killer then ran and smashed a light bulb that was shining outside the house. After the second gunman returned from his fruitless chase of the injured man, the two left, but not before a final word of advice for John from the killer: "Go boy, and anything you see here, make it stay here." For locals and visitors alike, an immediate question was how the gunmen could have been so sure-footed in the dark to not only find the small group, but for one gunman to chase a running man deep into bushes. They pointed to a spot where dark blood stains were seen on a concrete area, lasting testimony to the injured man's run for his life. "It must be that them know the area," said one person, to general agreement. The larger question of why they came to kill remained unanswered. "We don't know," said the woman who had declined to be identified. "That's what everybody asking. Every day police come and ask questions." For John, it is clear the gunmen had specific targets. "Them never want me," he said, "and another youth run when them come and them not even look upon him." COVID-19 cases rise to 25 in Jamaica. There are now 25 confirmed cases of COVID-19 across the island. The Ministry of Health and Wellness said the increase is a result of the return of 6 additional positive tests over the last 2 days. The 6 latest confirmed cases are 2 males, both 61 years old, with a travel history that includes Trinidad, London, Egypt, and Dubai. They arrived in Jamaica on March 11. A 51-year-old Jamaican resident from Westmoreland with no travel history, but who was a contact of 2 previously confirmed cases. A 58-year-old female of a Kingston and St. Andrew address with a travel history from France, and who returned to Jamaica on March 10. A 42-year-old male from Westmoreland with a travel history to the United Kingdom, who returned to Jamaica on March 12. A 61-year-old female from Clarendon with a travel history that includes New York, Spain, France, and the United Kingdom. She returned to Jamaica on March 18 on flight BA2263. She contacted the ministry's COVID-19 helpline when symptoms developed. This triggered the rapid response team and she was taken into isolation. The ministry said 17 of the now 25 confirmed cases were imported, while 7 were import-related and 1 remains under investigation. According to the ministry, data currently show that more males 16 than females 9 have been confirmed with COVID-19. The youngest person to test positive thus far is 24 years old, while the oldest is 79 years old. To date, the ministry said 150 samples have been tested. Of that number, 25 have returned positive results, 123 have come back negative, and 2 are pending. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.